Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the February 17th Public Facilities Committee meeting. We're going to call this meeting to order, and our first order is to look for the approval of the minutes from January 20th committee meeting.
If I may,
Certainly.
I'd like to make the motion to accept the minutes.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
I appreciate that. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Great. At this point in time, we are going to open the privilege of the floor. Is there anybody here looking to speak to the Public Facilities Committee? Hearing, seeing none, we're going to close the privilege of the floor and just move into our prepared agenda. The items number 1 and 2 are both, I have been told, are discussion items only. So that's all we're going to do with those. Is there anybody here, I know we've talked about it at length, but is there anybody here to discuss item number 1, local law intro 126? It's the third print, a local law amending the Chautauqua County Charter. I don't believe it's needed. Any questions, comments, or anything from the committee itself? Hearing, seeing none, we're going to just continue with the agenda. The discussion item number 2, renew and amend resolution 22124, accept FAA and New York State DOT funds to rehabilitate runway 1331 pavement and reconstruct runway 1331 lighting and signage design. Is anybody here for that item at all? Hearing some steps. Hi, John.
Good afternoon, all. John McAmer, Deputy Director, Airports. Yes, so the resolution you have in front of you is a administrative correction to the previously approved resolution for the runway 1331 design, rehabilitation, reconstruction design in Jamestown. So the New York State grant agreement requires that the resolution amounts match the award amounts, and that's simply what this is doing, is just correcting the amounts to match.
Okay, very good. Appreciate that. And the differences don't seem to be that great at all. So for those reading at home, watching at home. All right, very good. Questions, comments for John on that at all? Go ahead, Bob.
What was the change? Were we at 2.5% on these and it went to 5? Or am I reading something?
No, it's just, it appears to have been an administrative oversight error previously back in '24.
Oh, okay, so the 5 was in place.
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
I
Any-
rest my case.
Thanks. Anything else from any members of the committee? All right, I'm not seeing any. John, thank you very much for that explanation. We appreciate that. Moving right along, we have a proposed resolution to confirm reappointments to the Parks Commission. Is anybody here for that item? We do have 2 names in front of us. Oh, there he is. All right. Very good. Tim?
Good afternoon, Tim Carr, Director of Public Facilities. The 2 names that you have here are currently on the commission, Dorothy Lauricella and Legislature Robert Scudder.
Whoa.
2 home runs,
From District 3.
back-to-back home runs.
Very good. And, okay, questions, comments for Tim on that
Just
at all?
great choices, great choices.
And you just said they're already on the committee, this is just a
Yes.
reappointment? Yep, okay, all right, very good. Not seeing any questions or comments. Go ahead. Did I hear something, am I right?
Great choices.
You did mention they were great
Couple
choices,
times.
yes. All those in favor, excuse me, of the proposed resolution, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Great. Thank you for that. Also, we have a presentation by the Parks Commission at the end of this committee meeting, so looking forward to that. Our next item is the confirmed appointment for the Airport Commission.
the resolution in front of you is for the appointment of Gary Hahn with the National Comedy Center to the Airport Commission.
All right. And again, is that a reappointment as well?
No, this is a new appointment.
Okay, this is a new appointment. All right, very good. Thank you for that. Questions, comments? Not,
How long is the appointment for?
The initial appointment is for a year, then it's 2-year terms.
Oh, okay.
very good.
Very good.
Thank you, Tom. Anything else from the committee? All right, all those in favor of the proposed resolution, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And carried. Great. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. And then our agenda is going on to some budget amendments. Our first item is a proposed resolution to amend the 2025 budget for year-end reconciliations of the environment for the landfill. And for the committee, in case the committee isn't fully aware, this is item 5 on our agenda, but items 5, 6, and 11, we are going to have amendment for, which will be detailed to us shortly. Number 6 is actually been given to our desks. So take it away.
All right, to Chad Marks, Deputy Director of Finance for Public Facilities. Essentially, first thing we have here is the budget, year-end budget reconciliation for the landfill. We did have some accounts that were a little exceeded the appropriations. We did have some accounts that were under budget, so we were using those to offset the differences. The one change you will see is the EL 8160-1000 personal services account. The original amount was $43,713. There was some results that have changed since the pre-file. That number is now going to be $73,395. And that is mostly due to overtime. There were some additional projects that came up at the landfill that were unanticipated. Changes in payroll allocations between some of the departments. There is surplus in the other, the closed landfill department, the recycling accounts. So that kind of drove that. Again, we do have some contractual increases in the EL 8189, which is the Household Hazardous Waste Program. The overage there was due to the contractor charging a little bit more, or the more of a turnout, more hazardous chemicals, hazardous waste going out to this. We did bid, there's a contracted dollar amount for the contract per year, but then if we have extra, they do charge above and beyond per item. So that was the increase there, and then just a little bit of the 0.8s on that were just an increase because of just some benefit election changes.
So Chad, what were so that 4,001 and that 122, those are changing as well?
No, those numbers are staying the same.
Okay,
Those
very
numbers stay
good.
the same, yes.
Okay,
The grand total of the increases though is gonna be $77,518.
sure,
And then
okay.
again, we do have the contractual for the landfill portion, the .4s, that is increasing to $77,518 to offset.
Yep,
So we did have the.
okay. All right, very
increase on
good.
that one.
All right. So questions, comments on that? And a question from me, we have to move to amend before we approve. We have to do this twice, right?
Oh, yeah.
Correct. Maybe. Questions, comments from the committee on his changes or the description there? Not seeing or hearing any. Yes, we would entertain a motion to amend the proposed resolution as stated. Thank you, Bob.
Second.
Was that,
Do you want me to explain what we're doing, or just?
no,
Yes, numbers given by Chad.
I think we're good. And those have been relayed to Olivia? Yep. Okay, all right, very good.
This
Okay.
hasn't been changed to us, right?
I'm
until
sorry?
right now.
What's that?
This is the first we're hearing of the change. Yeah.
Correct.
I'm
Yeah.
looking on my desk for.
Yeah, yeah, we don't, we don't have any notes. We have notes about the next one, not about this one.
Okay.
So,
So,
okay,
yeah, I moved to amend it to the numbers presented by.
thank you.
Chad.
And that was seconded by Dalton? Yep. Okay, all in favor of amending the resolution, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Great, okay.
Mr. Chairman, if I could interrupt really quickly.
Sure.
That very first number, the one that's actually changing, should actually be 73,396, rounding up to the next dollar.
Rounding up 70.
Otherwise, we'll have to do another amendment later for $1, which I don't think anybody wants to do, so.
Correct. So, yep.
It's 100 pennies.
So 73,396. All right.
73396, just
Does
that
that,
one.
does that still take us to 77,518?
That would be 77,519
Okay, all right,
to both of those additional changes.
we're rounding. Okay, very good.
Sorry about that.
No, I appreciate that. Thank
Sure.
you. Thanks for saving us that step, Jen. All right, so we have that approved to amend. Any other discussion about the proposed resolution? All in favor of the proposed amended resolution, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed and carried. Great. Thank you very much. The next item we have, it has been given to us on our desks. It's item number 6. Amend the 2020 budget for the year-end reconciliations, South Chautauqua Lake Sewer District.
Yes, correct. So the addition to this one is adding that ESS 8120 1000 line, the personal services line. Similar to the landfill, there was some additional changes after the pre-file, increasing the budget on that one. The total dollar amount of that is $4,797. That's what you're seeing there as far as the addition on that end. With that, there was also some contractual over budget areas, totaling $351,004. And then employee benefits were over by $14,539. The contractual portion of that was mostly due to depreciation expenses on the new phase that's opening up. And it is offset with a decrease in the contractuals for sewage treatment portion of that, the ESS 8130 contractuals, that had a similar dollar amount to offset that due to some equipment maintenance was under budget, and some other supplies were less than what were originally budgeted, so we had a little bit of an excess there to offset the overages above. So that said, with the addition of the one line that we added, the total for the increase is gonna be $370,340, and then we are increasing that, decrease the appropriation account, again, the $370,340 to offset that.
Okay, all right, very good. Appreciate that explanation. Chad, questions, comments?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
So we're making a change to the 2025 budget?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you maybe explain that to me, because we've already adopted that budget. Would we be changing the 2026 budget
No,
No.
this is to adjust for
to adjust?
2025's budget.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're
So-
not adding a budget line. This is an item that was in the original amendment.
Mhm.
This particular line item was fine as far as it was under budget, but then there was some additional information that was posted after the pre-file that put this
Okay.
category up over the budget. So it's not anything we're adding to the budget, it's just
Okay.
Yeah.
balancing.
So a lot of our expenses and revenues are finalized for the first probably 4 to 6 weeks. There's more that will be coming in later, so we'll be doing additional amendments next month as well.
Okay.
The bulk of it is typically done right around this time of year, and since we're required to make sure that our appropriations are covered, we're required to do these amendments to close out the year.
Okay.
Hopefully that helps.
Yeah, thanks.
Great, appreciate that. Good question, good answer, thank you. Anything else? All right, we will entertain a motion to amend this proposed resolution as well as described. Is there a motion for that?
I'll make a motion to amend the copy laid on our desks.
Thank you, Dalton. Is there a second?
Second.
It has been, motion made and seconded. All those in favor of amending the proposed resolution, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And any other discussion? Hearing, seeing none. All those in favor of the amended resolution, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Great. Thank you very much for that explanation, Chad. We appreciate it. Back on agenda number 7, a proposed resolution to amend 2025 budget for the year-end reconciliation, Portland, Pomfret, Dunkirk Sewer District.
Good
Hi there.
afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Allison Vento, Administrative Director for North Chautauqua Water and Sewer Districts.
All right, what are we looking at here?
Well, we are amending the, I have the right one here in front of me.
You're backing
I have the wrong number, sorry. Yeah, the Portland Pomfret Sewer District, we're increasing the appropriation accounts for the payroll on the 8120, the personal services lines, by $988. It was basically due to payroll allocations not being correct when the original budget was done. We are offsetting that with a little bit of money left over from the contractual portion of that budget. The 2026 budget is, everything has been corrected, so it should, it will, the change was going to be reflected in 2026, so we should not have the same issue this year.
Okay, all right. Very good. Thank you for that. Questions, comments from the committee regarding this proposed resolution? Chad, I'm trying to put you on a hot seat, but not being very successful, so.
Don't do that on my end.
Seeing, hearing none, all those in favor of the proposed resolution, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And carried. Great.
I'm sitting here right in the sun, so I think that's.
Moving it up a little
Yep,
bit.
that's all
Yeah.
right, that's all right. Okay, so, item number 8. Amend the 2025 budget for year-end reconciliations of the North County Industrial Water District Number 1.
All right, similar thing here, both the EW 8120 and the EW 8310.1s, personal services, both have overages in the payroll portion of things. Again, that was, this was due to an employee being misallocated to these districts. The correction was made, so there was a reduction, offset in the payroll account to reduce that. That again, same thing as this year, that budget is correct. There was also some additional under budgeted items, vacation buyback, longevity, that were included in those totals as well. The EW 8310, and I'm noticing a typo there as well, that should also be a .4 for contractual, not a .1.
Good job.
That is basically, again, depreciation for equipment and various other .4s, other contractuals being over budget. We were able to offset that by some shuffling of the .8s, from the EW 8310, the employee benefits. There was some extra money there because of allocations and election changes with the benefits. And then we had some additional revenue from water charges, interest and earnings, and then a prior year refund that we were able to use to offset the remainder of the overage.
Okay, very good. Questions, comments for Chad or Allison on this one? When you, and I do have one, when you say misallocated payroll, or misallocated personnel, I can't remember what you said, that's just the sharing that one person will do, jumping between departments?
Correct.
That's all it's
Yes,
referring to?
Yes.
Okay.
How that person was.
Okay. Is that
budgeted.
set at the beginning of the year and then, or does that change throughout the year depending on
It
needs?
depends, it can change throughout the year if there are different allocations, but then the amendment should be done at that point if we are adjusting that. number.
Okay,
In this particular case, this was something that was budgeted, and the payroll portion of things was never filed, or wasn't filed in time to actually correct how the payroll is coming out of the budget.
I see.
The budget was correct, but the payroll was incorrect.
Is the employee him or herself responsible for that, or they just do their job and that's
No,
back
it's-
office?
That's, yeah, that's back
Okay,
office.
okay, I'm just curious how that works, so, okay, very good. Any other questions, comments on the proposed resolution? We'll make that note of the EW 8310.4 contractual water district, it's just a correction, so,
Mr. Chairman, I'm
Yes.
confused by the explanation of the contractual $44,000. Depreciation?
Yeah. We have depreciation that amount. and then
Yes,
that was-
depreciation, and then some additional offset from other contractual,
So, y-
other
for-
charges for utilities and that,
So depreciation was substantially under budgeted?
yes, by
Yep,
about
28,394.
Wow. That's hard to believe because in that water district, there hasn't been any new construction going on for a long time. Okay, thank you.
We can look into that for you.
thank you, Mr. Chairman. All right, any other questions, comments? All right, all those in favor of the proposed resolution, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Great, thank you very much for that. Next item,
Got it, thank you.
make sure I have my place here. We are, item number 9, amend the 2026 budget for North County Industrial Water District Number 1.
Yes, so this resolution speaks to the industrial water district. It has 16 customers, and we're looking to replace all of their individual meters because they're extremely old and not reading accurately. The district does have a pretty healthy fund balance, so we're looking to use the money from the bid award of the $78,143 to pay for those meters, which includes the cost of installation through the bid award. The current fund balance for the industrial water district is $256,281.61. So if you do subtract the cost of the meter replacements, it would leave our fund balance at $178,138.61.
Okay, very good, appreciate that. Questions, comments for Chad or Allison on the proposed resolution? Yes.
Being familiar with this, much needed update to these meters, it'll help everything in general. Could even help the fund balance go up in the future, having accurate readings on water. Thank you.
Yep, very good. Anything else? Anything else for either of the esteemed panelists? Hearing, seeing none. All those in favor of the proposed resolution, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And carried. Great. All right. Making good progress. Number 10, amend the 2025 budget for year-end reconciliation of the North Chautauqua County Water District.
Alrighty, so North Chautauqua Water District, we had some .1 overages in personal services to the tune of $2,879. Payroll timing and some additional expenses that were under budgeted, the driving factors on that. The EW 8310.4 contractuals, the $10,851 overage there. A lot of it has to do with the utilities that were previously paid to another contractor. The utilities were in their name. At the beginning of the year, Allison decided that she was going to take over the utilities and put them in the district's name. So that was done, and it was discovered at that particular moment that there was one of the utility bills was using
It's like a
outside, a
third-party
supplier,
that was
electrical
pretty
supplier.
much doubling the electric bills. So we went in and got that removed so that we're just having the reads and done by National Grid. So that's why that was a little over, because it was never caught. Previously, the bills were being paid by a different entity. The county was then reimbursing them. So once I got them switched over and started kind of looking at each account and what the costs were, realized that we were paying another third party, which was doubling the bill. So we have terminated that with that third party with National Grid, so that it's just the base.
Direct.
Direct
Yeah,
costs for
yeah.
the electric, yep.
Okay. Well,
And then to offset that, we had some additional revenue, except or surplus revenue in the charges, the water charges, to offset that overage in those two accounts.
okay, all right. Questions, comments? Go ahead, Bob.
Good catch on the utilities.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. How long had that been going on, or no idea? Before?
Quite a few years.
Okay, yeah,
Been a few years.
Yep.
yep. Good work there, certainly. Anything else? Committee? Hearing, seeing none. All those in favor of the proposed resolution, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is carried also. Thank you for that. Number 11.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Allison, appreciate it. Number 11 was another one that Chad had mentioned that he has a verbal amendment for. So proposed resolution to amend the 2025 budget for year-end reconciliations of the Public Facilities DM Fund. Oh,
Good afternoon. Drew Rogers,
Drew.
Deputy Director, Public Facilities Engineering.
welcome, Drew. All right, gentlemen, what do we have here?
All right, so this one, we do have various accounts again over budget. The personal services in this, the road machinery, a lot of that was driven by overtime hours, and payroll reflected there. Equipment, where some additional equipment was purchased, above and beyond what was budgeted due to things
Breakdowns.
breakdowns and emergency purchases being needed there. Our contractuals, this is where we're gonna have our first change. The dollar amount is no longer $209,874. The new dollar amount is $212,552. Again, contractual with that, a lot of it was driven by maintenance costs, parts, other supplies and stuff being increased this year. And then we have the $1 increase in the interest portion there, and it's just a rounding, actually 20 cents, but rounding it up, so, not really anything. To explain on that one, the total is gonna change on this to, from the $253,438 to $256,116. To offset that, we did have some additional, employee benefit residuals there that, because of elections and payroll, benefit elections. And then we had additional money, Kitty, can you help me out with that one? The principal on the debt service? 216,000.
I gave them, oh, I know what it was, I gave them the wrong budget amount to add to the budget. The principal amount I provided was actually the total principal and interest, not just principal, so the budget was higher than it should have been for principal.
And then the use of money in property, interest and earnings, we had a little bit of residual there from leftover money for revenue that was able to offset the total difference. Again, that number is changing as well from $24,736 to $24,736 to $27,414 is the new number.
27,414.
Correct.
All right, very good. Questions, comments for Chad or Drew on that? Yes.
Is it true that the cold weather causes more things to break?
It's found to be pretty true, yeah.
Okay.
Anecdotal meets reality, right?
Yeah.
All right, anything else? Anything else? All right, we'll take a motion to amend from anyone on the committee. Thank you, Bob. Is there a second for that?
Second?
Thank you. All in favor of amending the resolution, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All right. All those in favor of the proposed amended resolution, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Great. Amended and approved. Appreciate that. Next item, number 12, amend the 2025 budget for year-end reconciliations, public facilities, A fund.
All right. I'm gonna try this one, or you want me to?
Keep going, you're hot.
All right, so, the buildings and grounds portion of things, there was overages in all four of the categories. There was a personal services, due to overtime, call-ins, that kind of thing, the substitute pay for the call-ins. The point twos, there was some additional equipment purchase, same thing, some unexpected purchase that needed to be done, that was kind of offset by some different things down below as far as the contractuals and such go with that. The point four contractuals, driven somewhat by utility charges, and other contractor charges. And employee benefits, just again, driven by the employee benefit election changes and so forth. Let me do this here in the courthouse. All right, so the A 16205030.4 contractuals for the courthouse. A lot of that was driven by ground maintenance and also a little bit of excess in the utility charges for that particular facility. Same thing with the A 16205060.4s, the Jurassic office building, driven by some additional expenses as far as kind of contractors and ground maintenance go. A 16206050.4 contractuals, the Dunkirk DMV building, just a little bit of an overage due to having some contracted work done that kind of exceeded the budget for the amount by $44. We get to the airport, the Jamestown Airport personal services. Overtime basically drove that due to the harsh winters, the plowing on both ends, beginning of the year, end of the year, keeping the airports clean, or the runways clean, so we can, air traffic can come in and out. And then the 5610.2 equipment, that is a little bit over due to some unanticipated equipment purchases. They're partially offset by a sale of some airport equipment, but there is an additional $3,300 that was above and beyond what was budgeted and what was able to be used there. The point eights, again, employee benefits, similar to everywhere else, just the benefit charges. The elections were here and there, a little bit of increase in some of the retirement costs and such. 5610, 5612, Dunkirk Airport point ones, same thing. The driving factor on that was the overtime, call-ins for snowplow and that kind of stuff. Now we move on to carts personal services. This one's kind of all over the place. There was some payroll, I guess, or some HR discrepancy, I guess, at the beginning of the year that created a little bit of a thing where Michelle had her sub drivers were, because of the hours they worked the year before, were actually deemed to be considered actual drivers, so they were no longer subs, so they were given partial benefits, sick time, vacation time and such. What that is the driving factor on this is a lot of, due to overtime, when it did drive up, when she has a route, someone calls in, she still needs to fill that route, so she's basically essentially paying a driver that had vacation time or sick time and turning around paying another driver to drive it, so she was double dipping as far as that goes. And then parks personal services due to vacancy savings target, just not meeting the overall budget on that. We were able to offset a lot of that by decreasing several contractual items throughout the building and grounds portion of things. The Mayville Municipal Building, the jail, Dunkirk Ag Center, South County Office Building, and 95 East Chautauqua all had a little bit of underrun on the contractuals, as well as the Dunkirk Airport had some contractual stuff that we were able to use as well, and some additional employee benefits that were not realized as well. Contractually, Carts additionally had some money due to the software program that they use. I'm sure, I know Michelle's explained that the new program is free for 3 years as a grant. So there was some additional money that was budgeted for the old program. So in the next couple of years, there will be something that will be coming to us free of charge, but then we will be, after that grant period is over, we'll have to rebudget that money. And then she also had Michelle had some additional transportation revenue that we were able to use, the 55,000. It's STOA money. It's money that is from the state that essentially takes them back to pre-COVID ridership, like as far as number of rides, miles driven, and it kind of year by year changes depending on what her ridership is, and it increases. She gets a stipend to bring it back to that pre-COVID.
Yeah, okay. Chad, I'm sorry, my mind was elsewhere. Can you repeat that? I'm just kidding. So we appreciate that description. So does anybody have any questions, comments on the committee from that? That one did pop into my mind, and I should know this myself because I've been here for a couple of years. Is this akin to, I know we do this every year, but was anything out of whack this year that normally isn't when it comes to these adjustments? That might be more of a question for Jen, I'm not sure, but it just seemed like a longer one is all to me.
That is something that we can definitely touch on that during
Yeah.
our summarization of everything year-end next month, once we have things a little bit more finalized. I would
Sure.
be more than happy to give you that
Yeah,
detail.
okay. Nope, that's fine. I was just
Yeah,
curious as to,
absolutely.
just kind of, are we getting the dartboard or the dart close to the dartboard is all. Okay, questions,
Never
comments
hurts to ask the question.
from anyone else? Yes, Bob?
Just the A 7110.1, notice it says parks there. Thank you.
I'm not following you.
You don't have to. Just-
Parks Commission.
So noted.
Oh, okay, all right, very good, very good. Oh, gotcha, yes, yes. Anything else?
I just
Anything
wanted to
else?
say parks.
Okay, all right, good. Any other, seeing no other questions, comments. Thank you for that description, Chad. All those in favor of the proposed resolution, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried, great, all right. And then no, not yet. Our next item is to authorize agreement with New York State DOT for the performance of Project PIN 5765.48.
Okay, the DPF was awarded funding for a project to replace County Bridge 295 on Jackson Avenue in Celeron. This project is funded through the Culvert New York program, which is part of the Bridge New York program. And with the culvert designation, it's 100% funded through the state. So this resolution would be to enter into that agreement with the state for the $801,000, which is for the entire project. It's covers the design, construction, and inspection.
Great. Appreciate that, like seeing the 100%. Questions, comments? For Drew at all? Not seeing or hearing or expecting any. All those in favor of the proposed resolution, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Great. All right. And the last proposed resolution, amend 2025 budget for the year and reconciliation of the Public Facilities D Fund.
All right. Well, start off with this one. Unfortunately, we did not have enough in what we were able to decrease as far as appropriations or increase in the revenue accounts. So we are using $316,761 in reserve fund balance, D fund balance, to offset a portion of the overages here. personal services and the D5010 overage, a lot of it is due to payroll allocations, capital projects. Allocations weren't initially, what was budgeted wasn't necessarily allocated correctly or totally. And then there was some vacancy savings targets there as well. The D5010.4 contractuals, various overages on that. A lot of it was driven by some changes to some contractual brownfield monitoring charges that we have in the DEC, kind of changed things, so it increased the dollar amount that we actually spend per year that we, in the middle of the year. There was some IT equipment that was added into the things that we weren't anticipating. And then the year-end liability insurance adjustment kind of drove that up a little bit. We get to the engineering, the D5020 contractuals, the .4s there. Same thing, a lot of it was driven by various .4 accounts. We did have some software maintenance, was the driving factor behind that. What it was the timing of two invoices from the 2 different years' service. We got an invoice late in 20, so it was paid early in 25, and then we paid at the end of 25. So this year's covered, but there was just the timing of when the invoices came in. The 5110-1000, the personal services over. A lot of that's driven by overtime pay as well as payroll allocations to capital projects. Overtime was kind of tough. We actually, just in December alone, we used almost 3/4 of what was budgeted for the year. Not to mention another 3/4 of, another $100,000 at the beginning of the year too, for January and February with the winter months. And then the D5142.4 contractual, that is driven by the increase in road salt purchase. To offset this, we had same thing, we were able to use some employee benefits, just shuffle some of that around. The maintenance of roads contractuals were down considerably because of just the cost of supplies not being, we didn't have as much out-of-pocket maintenance and that kind of stuff, or things being sent out for that kind of stuff. Contractual pavement markings, again, that was money that was operating supplies that we did not need for the year. And then the remainder of that, we did have some additional revenues that we could increase or to use, including the sale of salt and sand to other municipalities. So that was a portion there, as well as some shared services for like road fees and stuff like that, permit fees.
All right, very good. Appreciate that. Explanation, Chad. Questions, comments, as we're looking through? Do we customarily sell salt every year?
Yeah, the
Okay.
municipalities buy back.
Yeah.
The 3 facilities, actually.
Yep.
How are we looking for salt for the rest of this year? Are we in a shortage
Give us the
like
weather
rest of the
report
county?
first when you ask that question, and they'll answer.
Winter is
January
over.
was rough. We'll see, hope for the rest of the mild winter.
Yeah.
How much have we used of what we've allocated with the company itself?
Tim, do you happen to have that number?
The total usage that we have remaining right now to date is around 600,000. Out of the 2.3 or something, so we had used quite a bit of salt this winter. December really killed us with that ice storm that we had.
Yeah.
I was very confident going into this winter with all our sheds basically full, and we've been out there since November, since Thanksgiving. I'm gonna tell you just about every day.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a few days that Christmas was warmed up, but we've been out there every day, so.
Yeah, definitely, very good.
You've
Well,
done
we
a good
appreciate
job.
that.
I just know it's been an issue with the towns of getting close to their limit and having to ask to
Yeah.
potentially take 20% more for the year and figure that out later for budgetary purposes.
Thank you for that, Dalton. Anything else? All right, not seeing or hearing. All those in favor of the proposed resolution, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And approved. Great. Thank you, gentlemen, very much. Last item on our agenda, as I mentioned at the top of the meeting, is a presentation or discussion by or of the Parks Commission. If you are here to, for that, please come on down. Have a seat.
If I may, I'm not going to steal their thunder.
Yes.
It's just, I've been on the Parks Commission for 2 years, I think 2 years now, or I'm going into my second year, I guess. And we just decided as a commission to present to this committee, make people aware, just get the Parks Department out there. We decided to do it this time of the year because we all know better weather is coming. So there's some energy there. So we just felt it'd be a good time to
I agree.
have a little presentation.
Great.
For the committee.
Great. Thanks for that introduction, Bob. We appreciate that and the work that you all do. Please introduce yourselves.
Jacob Bodway. I'm the trail coordinator for the Chautauqua County Partnership for Economic Growth. I'm also on the board of the Chautauqua County Rails to Trails, the Parks Commission, the Friends of Chautauqua County Greenways, and former president of the Western New York Mountain Bicycling Association.
All right, great.
And I'm Jamie Reynolds. I'm with the Chautauqua County DPF, our Parks Department, and the Engineering Department.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. What do you have for us today?
Sure. Yeah, I'll start. Many of you know in 2012, Chautauqua County released the Greenway Plan, which is pretty a comprehensive plan of what we needed to do in the county for our trails, waterways, and basically it called for maintaining the existing trails and also expanding on some of the existing trails. And although the plan is getting to be a little dated, most of the stuff we have accomplished is a result of this plan. So we're excited to potentially be revising this plan in 2026 or 2027. So the Greenway Plan has kind of been the blueprint for how we've been conducting ourselves at the Parks Department and the various non-for-profit trail user groups in the county. In 2020, I moved back to Chautauqua County and started working on the overland trails and raised some money to help improve what were 40-year-old trails at the time. And once we started working on the overland project, kind of the floodgates opened for the realization that Chautauqua County is primed for trail expansion and trail improvements, especially during the COVID pandemic when so many people were using the trails. So the Friends Group, which is kind of a amalgamation of a bunch of the user groups in the county, the Bowler Hill Ski Club, the Equestrians, the Chautauqua Watershed Conservancy, the Mountain Biking Association. We all formed that in 2022, and we've been working together to raise funds and hold meetings every other, twice a year to the public to kind of explain what we're doing. And as a result, really, trails and greenways in Chautauqua County have become a centerpiece. A lot of people are moving here and commenting on how ahead of the curve we are in terms of expanding our trails and maintaining the current trails. So this really speaks to the quality of life. If we want to keep residents in Chautauqua County, we need to improve the quality of life, and I think greenways is a perfect opportunity to do that. It's inexpensive, and once it's done, it's just maintenance primarily. So Chautauqua County is becoming a model county for the state. In fact, last year we had a summit with the Parks and Trails New York non-for-profit group, and they held Chautauqua County as the model for Western New York for trails and waterways and greenways development. However, we definitely still have some work to do. One thing that I want to focus on maybe in this upcoming year is updating the legislature a little bit more on what we're doing with the parks and keeping everybody informed. And also, we want to allocate specific job titles in the Parks Department to our parks employees, which Jamie can take on that.
Are you all set?
I'm good.
Okay, thank you. So the Parks Department, the roots of the Parks Department go back to a study that was sanctioned by the county in 1968. That study, the results of it were that Parks Department should be formed. a Parks Commission should be formed, and the county should focus on three factors to implement the plan. And those three factors were to develop overview park sites, to preserve as much of the Canada Way Creek and the Chautauqua Gorge as possible, and to have 3 travel ways, an east side travelway, an overland travelway, and a west side overland travelway, and a waterway trail. And largely, those have all been implemented, so I would say that at this point in time, that study was successful. That's where we stand today. Of those 3 things, parks properties constitute about 625 acres of parkland that we have. Now, obviously, that's not all developed as parks, but we do have 3 developed parks, and those are the 2 overview parks. We have Erlinson Overview Park in the South County, in the town of Carroll, Lundsman Overview Park in the town of Portland, and we have Mill Race Park, which is about 12 acres just behind Fancher Chair and Faulkner. The 2 overview parks each constitute about 75 acres of land. They each have a beautiful overview, pavilion facilities, restroom facilities, and they each have about a 1-mile loop trail too. We do take reservations for the pavilion, and those 2 parks are extremely popular, I will add. I just talked to someone today about reserving for a wedding at Erlinson Park in 2027 already. So. We also have reforestation lands. We have about 875 acres of reforestation land that's spread across 11 different parcels, and they're all over the county. Some of them are just vacant timberlands. Some of them have lean-tos on them. Some have ponds, and some have the overland trails coming through them too. So they're kind of a dual use for park and then the reforestation purpose as well. And then the 2 overland trails, we have the Cardot Overland Trail on the east side of the county and the Cusimano West Side Overland Trail. Those together equal about 50 miles of overland trail. And then we have the Waterway Trail, the Cobb Waterway Trail, which is on the Cassadaga Creek, portion of the Cassadaga Creek, and a portion of the Conewango Creek, and that totals about 53 miles total. To maintain that, we have currently 2 full-time parks employees. Myself, I split my time between parks and engineering. And then we have been fortunate enough the last 2 summers to get 4 seasonal employees. That's worked out well. A couple of them have been able to stay beyond the season sometimes, and that's worked out well too. To get these projects done, we also have the Parks Commission is now at 9 members, and the Parks Commission, since I've been involved with parks, has really come a long way. There is, as Mr. Scudder said, renewed energy. The members are great. They have varied interests, and they have started taking on projects. They have tons of ideas. They're involved in the community, and they want to promote, and just they're all about parks, and that is. I just can tell a huge difference since I started, and it's really rewarding, and it's really nice to see. There's so much energy. The projects we have coming up, we have a lot of projects. We have the lean-to replacement project, which we're hoping to get to this year, but it'll definitely be coming. We have our rustic Adirondack log lean-tos. They're starting to show their age, and so we're gonna start replacing them as they need to be changed out. And we want to have a sense of uniformity. So as the new ones are changed out, they're all gonna be the same. So, and we'll probably get away from the log style, but when the new ones come in, they'll all be the same color, the same shape, same size, everything. We want it to be, those are Parks Department lean-tos. We have some bridges that the crew will need to build this year. We're scheduled to build 2 bridges, and those will be in conjunction with trail reroutes that have been done in the past couple of years. We also are implementing QR codes on our sign-in boxes. We're looking at electronic donations. We've also had just trying to modernize a little bit. The sign-in boxes are still used, and we get great notes from everybody, and it does show that everything is very well used, very well appreciated, and there's some good recommendations that come out of that too. So I think also we have a lot of potential for the Parks Department. We have some properties that we could develop a little more without a lot of investment, and really focus on what we think people want. There's other trails, there's loop trails. The Greenway study mentions loop trails, and that's something we see a lot of. We'd like to do that. The overland trails are great, they're very well used, but you park at one spot and then you've got to just backtrack. So we'd like to develop some loops in there, and I think that we're fortunate in the county here because we have great park facilities, and I think we have a lot of opportunity to develop them even more. So I think that's a great thing. Parks Commission meets on the fourth Thursday of the month at 10 a.m. at the Jamestown Airport in the conference room. Anybody's welcome to attend. Thank you.
Great, we appreciate that. We appreciate that. Questions, comments from anybody on the committee? Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Well, can I just say, I think what you're doing is great. It sounds like you're doing an awful lot with a very small group of people. So I compliment you on that. But my main question is on bike trails and a bike loop somewhere. Is that somewhere on the radar?
Turn the bike experts right here.
Okay.
You talking just about road bicycling?
Yeah, primarily, yeah.
There are some bicycle routes on like 380, 430, 394 that are designated state bicycle routes. But there is not real designated bike routes in the county. Most of the work that I've been doing are the mountain bike trails in Harris Hill State Forest and Whalen Memorial State Forest. Those are all looped, stacked loop trail systems, so you're never going out and back. Every trail is a loop. So my recommendation is to ditch the road bike and buy a mountain bike.
At 63, I don't think I'm doing
Well, they got
that.
the e-bikes too, so those are becoming more popular. But
Okay.
I think there are a lot of really great road rides in the county. You know, in Amish country specifically, down by Panama is beautiful. So, we can maybe we just developed a map 2 years ago, a countywide trails map that has been hugely successful, and we're thinking about adding road routes to that map. We just got to kind of work with some of the more, experienced road riders in the county and figure out what are the best routes, the safest.
Okay. Thank you.
If I can add, I do have a lot of paperwork from the Parks Department in my office that I've inherited as we've gone by, going back to the beginning. And there is a fair amount of paperwork in there for looping, or I should say connecting the east side and west side overland trails. So you would have a north trail and a south trail, and essentially have a 360-degree trail around the county. In looking at those, based on the existing overland trails being largely on state land, and then some private land and a little bit of county land, that north trail and the south trail were proposed, and I think that there would have to be a lot of road and maybe some rails to trails thrown in there. It is something, though, I think it would be really nice to offer, but it would take some planning. But I think we could sit down and come up with a good route on lesser traveled roads and hit some spots along the way. I've often thought of Lunsman Park being a stop on a trail. It's just over Lake Erie, and it's really pretty getting there and that. But so anything's possible.
Very good. Bob?
Thank you.
Yeah, I just thought I'd add too, we're also gonna be releasing a new logo. It's coming. I didn't mean
No,
to
no.
correct that, but that's kind of exciting. It'll give us a little more, again, identity, uniformity. This is who we are, and maybe we can sell you a T-shirt or something.
Great.
And I will add that the logo was designed by a member of the Parks Commission. He took that on as a project and sunk his teeth into it, and that was great to see.
So that's coming.
Yes, it is.
All right,
Yeah.
great. Good information. I like how New York State is holding us up as a good model example, as you mentioned there. Gentlemen, Jacob, Jamie, thank you very much. Does anybody have anything else? I don't want to cut anybody short or off. Our time is just about over for public facilities. Anything else at all? Gentlemen, thank you for your time. That was a good presentation, good information. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Bob. For seconds. Travis?
Second.
All right, we are adjourned. Thank you. Hey, I'll buy a t-shirt.
Yeah, that's coming up.